Oh, this world we live in. Oh, anyway, sorry, I can't do that. Sorry. Let's not start with that. Okay, I tried so hard. Okay, so anyone watching the video to get ready for your quiz tomorrow, which if you're not here tomorrow, I have no idea how you're going to take that. I guess we'll wait for the masks to stop being a thing, and then you can come and take that during Compass. So all the things to remember. But what we're doing is this one, and we're ignoring these directions for a second. Oh, let me clarify this. This will be a week from tomorrow. We'll put those directions in. I know for a fact I have a great matching thing, and I'm going to give you a practice matching on a week from today for next week's test with these conditions again and how you function there. But I'll tell you today how it works too. On tomorrow, I'm going to ask for all answers from 0 to 2 pi, which is all four quadrants, not 360. 2 pi, which means I need my answer in what? Starts with an R, radians. Okay, so now let's get back to this one. But I told the students we're gonna wean ourselves from drawing these triangles. Not tomorrow, but next week. Next week, no more triangles. You shouldn't have to draw a triangle. But it's always nice though, when it's my escape, like for me to make sure I can get these right or not. My backup plan is to let me just draw the triangle in the coordinate plane. Then I'll get the answer right for sure. Okay, so by the way, what is the 30 in quadrant? By the way, what are 30s over what's? What's the denominator, first of all? 6. Now I'll really get to it. Sorry. Taking a long time in my 7th hour here, working a little slow. And I'm not explaining this anymore. I have a deep, deep frustration for students not understanding the most basic things of fractions. This is pi, which I put up there, which is 6 pi over 6. Why did I choose that? Because it's an over 6. And this is 12 pi over 6. So you just have to go a click past 6 pi over 6 to get to this angle measure. I don't know if you can see that when I'm pointing to these. So what is that angle measure right there? What's one click past 6, everybody? 7. It's not rocket science, although trig is rocket science. They need trig in rocket science. And then a click short of 12 pi over 6 is what? Okay, now for tomorrow, these are my two answers. I am going to ask for all of them. For next week, we're going to incorporate this set of directions. Which answer do I want then only? What answer is between 3 pi over 2 and 2 pi? 11 pi over 6. So this is next week. We are going to throw that in there, and I only want that one answer then. All right? Got it? So I hope you know the difference there, and that's what those conditions were in yesterday's homework. By the way, and then now that I've got this video, I'll tell you how you do this without having to draw a triangle and how these should be fast. What letter over what letter, by the way? What letter over what letter for tangent? Y over X. And then just for giggles, what would R be? What would R have to be? 2. So it is a 30, 60, 90. It should be over. Those that are just watching now, or I didn't say this yet, Y is always the opposite side of the reference angle. So what is the reference angle? 3, 2, 1, go. 60, we should be able to do that without drawing the triangle now. Although I'm going to make you draw the triangle tomorrow because we have people that still don't know those triangles and they need to prove it. Okay, so I got to make sure that that happens. Where's tangent negative? What's 2 quadrants? 3, 2, 1, go. 2 and 4. And it's very easy. One left, root 3 up. Yeah, that's a negative over a positive. 1 right, root 3 down. Yeah, that's a negative over a positive, or vice versa. I don't care which one's which. First one is a positive over a negative. Who cares? Semantics. And then the radius, of course, is 2. You know, if you did the Pythagorean theorem, so it's a 30, 60, 90. If you weren't getting that from chapter 2. All right, so that's why it's a 60. And then what are 60s over what? 3, 2, 1, everybody. 3. And then that means I put this as 3 pi over 3 in my head. I don't have to write them. You might, just because it's at the, you learned radians 2 days ago, right? So yeah, write 3 pi over 3, write 6 pi over 3, so you know what the answer is. You're short of 3 pi over 3 here. What's that answer? 3, 2, 1, go. 2 pi over 3. You're short of 6 pi over 3 in quadrant 4. So what's that? 5 pi. And I swear to gosh, I know some people don't know if 5 pi over 3 is smaller than 2 pi or not. That's why we got to understand these things, the basics of fractions. 6 pi over 3 is 2 pi. So 7 pi over 3 is bigger than 2 pi. By the way, which answer, first or second, when I look at this now? First or second? That's the first one. That's why I had you do this here. Know your quadrants, know your four, things that separate the quadrants. 0, pi over 2 pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi. When you know that, then you know what quadrants. That's why, you think these are annoying questions, and they are, but they're actually just, do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you're reading? Do you know what this means? That it's important. Do you know how to fish around a radian, unit circle and know what quadrant that actually means? So that's the point to that. It is testing you. Do you know it the way you should? So it's legal. It's allowed. By the way, 0 over 3, 2, 1, go. 0 over 3, 2, 1, go. You can actually pick any number you want in the world, but 1's the smartest. By the way, is 0 over -1 still 0? And because this is y over x, because I'm not going to ask you that again because we already had a tangent, then x could be both positive and negative. Now, some people falsely make this a 45. No. Where's 1 comma 0? Where does that land? Positive or negative, x or y axis. 3, 2, 1, go. Positive x. Where's -1 comma 0? 3, 2, 1, go. Here's our two angles, which is 0 or 2 pi. And then this is pi. Now let's look at these cryptic little directions here. Ooh. What does a bracket mean? Include. What does a parenthesis mean? Not including. As a matter of fact, tomorrow the directions will actually specifically be give me all answers from 0 to 2 pi, parenthesis for sure there. So tomorrow, how do I answer this? Do I use 0 or do I use 2 pi? What's the answer? 3, 2, 1, go. 0. I actually have to take a half point for those that put 2 pi for that. Because you're wrong. You're not supposed to put 2 pi. That's why they put that, because 2 pi is repetitive to 0. So just 0 instead of 2 pi. And then certainly pi. But now for next week, what's the yellow answer? Which one is it, 0 or pi? 3, 2, 1, go. I mean, I think that was not tricky at all now that I did that. That's next week. Can you read and understand which answer I really only want? So don't get too confused about it. It is weird that they ask you these, but it really is a tester of do you understand the coordinate plane with radian angle measures fully. I think that's pretty simple. I think I've done this one. I mean, this is the first time we have this. By the way, and anyway, what's the reference angle? 3, 2, 1, go. See, people from doing their stuff, you already know this is a 45. But root 2 over, anyone? 3, 2, 1, go. 1. And then this is r over x. What does that mean? Y has to be from the Pythagorean theorem. 1. Okay, so this is a four. It's our. You don't. What's the point of the triangle anymore? I'm gonna force you. Just wax on, wax off. Do what I ask. No triangles on tomorrow's test. No credit. All right. I'm gonna be a jerk one more time. Then after that, we should be able to do this. And we're a secant positive. What quadrants? Obviously 1, right? And then what other quadrant? 4. And you prove it. 1, root 2. It doesn't take much. That's why I laugh at people. I have to draw a triangle. That just took me 3 seconds. Yeah, fumble. Are we going to start this again, Sarah? You need a different situation there with pockets or something. Something more secure. Another fumble. Sarah fumbled 5 times yesterday. Right, Sarah? Yeah. Okay. All right, and then so what's a 45 and over what? 3, 2, 1, go. And over what? 4. This is always hilarious. What's the quadrant 1 over 4? It's just pi. People are like, that's sometimes they get, wait, what's the quadrant? It's just pi. 1 pi. 1 pi over 2, 1 pi over 3, 1 pi over 4, 1 pi over 6. I shouldn't have said 1 pi over 2. That's 90 degrees though. What's the other, what's here? So this is 8 pi over 4. Again, why am I doing this? Because we're going in this direction. So we're very big. We're close to a full revolution when we're in 4. 8 pi over 4 is a full revolution. Jump back. What is it? 7 pi over 4. Which one do I want? The first or the second next week? Second. That's, see, now you get it and you understand why they're trying to, do you know that that's quadrant 4 only? Can you read that and do that? So unfortunately, it's all or nothing. When I have that matching section, if you take the wrong answer, it's all wrong. That's why I kind of like written tests a little bit better. At least when you make a drawing of the triangle and I see it flip the sides, I can still see you're not constructing your triangle correctly, and you need to make a change. Because tomorrow's a quiz. Those I give back before we have the test next week. And then you can still identify that you are not putting the triangle correctly. You're not associating the correct sides with the correct angles. All right, and that's why I do what I do until everybody is there. I don't think I'm going to bore you with these. That's just doing the regular ones. I do have at the end calculator questions. So what is this when I have sine? Unfortunately, I think that's your first question there. But it says like 2.3, and then that's it. What is 2.3? Is that an angle or is that a ratio of sides? You got it wrong again. That's an angle. You sine an angle, and when you press enter on the calculator, you get the ratio of sides. By the way, sine's ratio can't be over 1 anyway, right? Isn't the ratio y over r? So that's, and why is it not degrees? What is not right here? Say the thing. A degree mark. There is such thing as 2.3 degrees. It's a very small angle. That's 2.3 radians. See if you can get this right. Where does 2.3 radians land? Which quadrant? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 3, 2, 1, go. 2. You have to watch from 2 days ago. Remember when they started putting the radii on the circle. 2 radians landed in quadrant 2. 3 radians landed in quadrant 2. Almost to 3.14. So 2.3 radians is in quadrant 2. What kind of answer should we expect? Positive or negative? What sign of quadrant 2 angles? What sign of quadrant 2 angles? Positive. So when I go to the calculator, oh boy, it just drives me nuts how long it takes for this to open, especially during a movie. I feel like in 2000, what year is it? Is it 2021? We're in 22 already? All right. Mode. There it is. We're in radians. So second quit. What was it? Sine of 2.3? Sine of 2.3 radians. Enter. 0.7457. 0.7457. Is that what it was? And then there's no label to put on this because this is a ratio of sides. That's a ratio of sides. That represents whatever y over r is, whatever that is. Okay, next one. Is this a, let's just get down to it, the tough question. Is this a angle or a ratio of sides that I have written here? That's a ratio because I'm supposed to use x, y. I'm not supposed to use theta. Who cares? My worksheet, I use thetas. I think, I don't know. Who cares? But then this is the one where I don't have a secant button. The calculator's created my whole problem here because I would just inverse secant if I could, but I can't. All right, so then what do I do? Trick myself and do 1 over. 1 over secant is cosine, and it's cosine of 1 divided by. And then I inverse cosine. And there is not the same thing. Inverse cosine of 1 divided by is not the same as 1 divided by inverse cosine. I hope you heard what I just said there. That's the most, and actually, if you did 1 divided by inverse cosine of 1.234, you're going to get error. The reason is you can't inverse cosine a ratio that's bigger than 1. 1 over makes that bit smaller than 1, and then that's a legal cosine question now. But then your answer is just going to be in radians, and I'm not going to go any further. I think fourth hour I showed complicated questions when you have to deal with quadrants, and we as the cat crew decided not to do that. Unless you want me to. You don't want to see a complicated if you're moving on to more complicated math in college? Anybody? Everyone's going, that. We don't care, Mr. Ress. All right. I'll leave it at that then. I just want to be able to see if you can function the calculator and press the right buttons to get the right decimal.